night, 5:15. We did have a pre-scheduled event, but in YouTube typical fashion, had some technical difficulties. So here we are over here. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to jump on over here since there was a pre-scheduled live and now there's not. So we're just going to have to roll with it. I've contacted YouTube multiple times about this. It seems like they fix it for a few lives and then it just goes back to the same thing. So anyway, we're just going to roll with this. We are live. We're going to be making an amazingly easy and affordable crispy pinto bean tacos. Really, really good. The cost of this per taco, just in case you're curious, is $1.54, and that's if you're eating organic. I bring this up because there's been recently the Weston A. Price Foundation kind of re-brought up my article that I wrote for them over 2 years ago called Stepping Out of the Box, and it was about comparing the cost of processed meals to from scratch meals, which is my passion. I love to teach people how to cook from scratch. It's very, very important for you to learn these skills. Imagine if you can't go to the store and just buy something out of the box. What are you going to feed your family? So these are skills that have been erased and a lot of people don't know about them. So anyway, the Weston A. Price Foundation brought back up my article, which has brought a ton of questions about my numbers and how I got there, etc. So I'm going to take a little bit of time here while we're waiting for more people to jump on, and we're going to talk a little bit about this. I will try and remember to timestamp down below if you're watching the replay. If you want to just fast forward to the tacos, hey, go ahead. No offense there, but we are going to go ahead and talk about my article really, really quickly. So in the article, like I said, I did a meal plan and I compared the cost. And if you're new here from the article, hey, welcome to the channel. We do live cooking classes here every Tuesday night. I want to teach you how to cook. I want to impact your kids. That next generation, let's get them nutrient dense. Let's get them on board with from scratch meals that taste amazing, are still good, and minus all the chemicals and processed stuff that's in our food system. So welcome to the channel if you're new. I love it. But anyway, we're going to talk about the article that I wrote. So basically, I ran the numbers. I made a meal plan. And I had selected meals like beef stroganoff, which I have all of these recipes that I ran inside my cookbook. The link is down below if you guys are interested in purchasing that. No pressure at all. But I ran it and I went over to like Walmart and saw how much a beef stroganoff out of a box was. And of course, buying it out of a box doesn't mean you're done purchasing. You've got meat and dairy usually, sometimes butter, depending on what box item you're going to buy. And so I compared those two prices. Like I said, this was about 2 years ago. And so some of the common questions are, how can you say that nutrient-dense foods are cheaper than processed? So let me answer that question right now. And that is that my article, if you read it, I compared it on 3 different levels. So I had the first number, which was eating 100% processed foods out of the box or out of the freezer section from Walmart for the cheapest pricing. And then the next step over that was cheaper than buying 100% processed foods was the category that was non-organic. So usually when you're raised on processed foods, which I didn't live this way forever, your first step is to try and make similar meals with from scratch ingredients, which is why I wrote my own cookbook. Because I wanted to have recipes, invent recipes for homemade rice-a-roni and homemade beef stroganoff and taco pasta and all the things that I was buying for my family from the store. I wanted to have recipes for that. So I originally started my recipe book because I wanted to give those recipes to my children, and then all of you guys went crazy over it. So that's great. But basically, so that first category was non-organic. Okay, so that's 100% cheaper. It's about 50% of the price. At least it was 2 years ago. And I do plan to rerun these numbers. So if you're interested, stick around. I'll be doing that sometime this winter, hopefully, and have up-to-date numbers. But I already have started to run, like, for instance, the beef stroganoff recipe. I ran those numbers again yesterday, the day before, and it's still 50%. So if you're eating stuff out of a box and all you can do is switch to non-organic, you're going to be saving 50% off your grocery budget. And then the next steps get cleaner and cleaner. So the second step away from the processed foods was buying 50% of the ingredients organic, okay? And that one was still cheaper, you guys, than buying all of your food out of a box. And then, of course, the organic category was more expensive. than the processed foods. But the idea here is that if you're eating processed foods, you're most likely having cavities. You're most likely on some sort of prescription medication. You're most likely in and out of the doctor for illnesses. And once you start cleaning up your diet and removing a lot of the junk that's in our food, okay, those are going to become less. So your budget will free up so that you can slowly work into eating the cleanest that you can for your budget. No judgment here on the channel. That should be the goal, is to feed our kids the cleanest food as possible. So that is my article. I'm going to be rerunning those numbers for 2025, so keep posted. But we're going to get on to the recipe, but just one more thing. Just wanted to mention, we are dealing with illness again. Where from? I don't know. It's a really, really weird illness as well. If any of you guys have these symptoms or know somebody who has, will you guys email me? My email is down below. So starts out with a really bad headache. It's like concussion. So it's like a contagious concussion. Starts out with a headache. Then you have light sensitivity, where you don't even want to like look into the light because your eyes hurt. And then it rolls into being very, very dizzy, almost vertigo type like symptoms. And then you get a really high fever. Okay, really high. And then once that breaks and starts to fade, your headache and your dizziness and the double vision and all the other fun things you've just gone through start to go away. And then you get a sore throat, but it's not a regular sore throat. It's a sore throat that's way down here next to your thyroid. So if any of you guys have experienced this, I want to see who else has this. And no, we didn't have the crazy mystery fog, in case you guys are wondering. But a couple of really fast tips, and then we're going to get to cooking, I promise. So what do we take? This is an amazing product. I don't know if this is going to be backwards for you guys or not, but it's called Yoder's Good Health Recipe. It is like an apple cider vinegar tincture that you can take. This is amazing for sore throats. It's amazing if you're around sick people. You can buy it online if you just type in Yoder's Good Health Recipe. This is something you want to have on hand. This is refrigerated. It has fruit juices in it as well, but it has like elderberry and stuff like that. So the kids take it without a problem. This is a good thing to have on hand. Another good thing that we've been really hitting hard is the cod liver oil. You can take this more than one time a day. If you have somebody specifically who even has a fever, you guys are blowing through vitamin A so fast. So you're going to need some extra cod liver oil. So I actually took this 3 times today because I still haven't had it and I don't want to. And then 2 homeopathic remedies to have on hand. I've mentioned this one before. This is amazing. This is called Mercom. You can buy this online by Energenique. I don't make any money by recommending any of this, you guys. But if you just Google this, you'll be able to find that. This is specifically for sore throats, inflammation of the sinus cavities, that sort of thing. Amazing. Has immune boosters in it. And then this is the new, it used to be called Virostat. That's why I wrote it on this label right here. But it's called Lymphostatin V now. You can also buy this the same place you can get the other thing. This helps with lymphatic flow. And also helps to carry out viruses, aka toxins. Okay. So this stuff is really, really good as well. All right, that all being said, I'm going to put all this aside. We're going to get cooking, and I'm going to timestamp when I get back. Hang on one second. Okay, let's get cooking. Let me check the time. It is 8:35. I'll start it at 9 minutes on the cooking. We're going to get going. So I've already made up tortillas. I had this idea. Hopefully it's going to work. I used another pan as a tortilla warmer. We'll see. I got rid of my plastic tortilla warmer that you buy because it was plastic. And so we're going to see how that works. So basically, I've made up these sourdough tortillas, which are not hard. It's not hard. I have sourdough starter down below. If you want it, it's $5. I ship it right to you. But basically, with my sourdough starter, it only takes about 6 hours to get the dough ready. It's a mega starter. It blasts through and doubles in size in no time. These are nice and pliable. Check that out. And I think it might have worked. So these are already made up. We were going for about 6 inches. Some of them are a little shy. They are homemade. If you don't want to make your own tortillas, not a big deal. Just strive to buy. You could do sprouted tortillas, would be amazing. Or there's Azure sells sprouted corn tortillas. That would be really, really good in this as well. But I made my own because I have everything to do it. No judgment. If you don't, you can go to the store and buy some. That would be a super, super fast meal if you could do that. But these are amazing because you can actually freeze them ahead. So I made way too many for tonight. And I'm planning on either using them for breakfast or freezing them for the next time we need tortillas. We can just take them out and have a quick dinner. So that's what's in here. I've also have a little bit left over of taco seasoning. This recipe is also in my cookbook. You can save a lot of money by making your own mixes. So we're going to taco seasoning tonight. We're also going to need some salsa tonight. This is homemade salsa. This is actually zucchini salsa. This recipe is also in my cookbook. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot tonight. Sorry about that. But I love zucchini salsa because everyone has tons of zucchini and you only need like 3 pounds of tomatoes to make 11 jars of salsa. So if you're having to buy things from the farmer's market to make your salsa because your garden failed or maybe you don't have a garden, this salsa recipe is priceless because people give away zucchini around here in the summer. I don't know about where you live, but that's the situation there. So this was the zucchini salsa, and then I've shredded up some cheddar cheese. You could use Monterey Jack. You could use whatever you want. But those are our ingredients, and then I'm going to go over here and get the inside of my Instant Pot. I cooked up some pinto beans that had been soaked. Let me grab it out of here. Okay, so these are already cooked pinto beans. There's a little bit of extra water in here, so I'm going to try and drain it off over the sink real quick. Because we don't want extra water. We're just about to mash these with some seasonings. Okay. So this process is going to go pretty darn fast. You can either mash these or you could totally use a blender, like an immersion blender to blend them up sort of like refried beans. So I'm going to grab my immersion blender and do it that way. It just sounds a little faster. So, baby says hello. So to these beans, we're going to go ahead and add, hang on, I got to find my recipe. Where did it go? Oh no, where did I put it? Hang on, oh, there it is. Okay, we're going to add, I'm making this recipe times 3. So I'm going to give you the ingredients for only 6 tacos. But you're going to see me putting in more than that. Don't worry about it. It's just I'm going to make more for tomorrow for lunches. So you're going to need 2 cups of cooked pinto beans, which equals about 1 cup of dry. And then we're going to go ahead and add 1 teaspoon of taco seasoning to that. Okay. Next ingredient is 1/2 cup of salsa. So canning is my next subject. So for those of you guys who can, stick around for this. I had a subscriber reach out to me today, and she was talking to me about her concerns over lead and cadmium being in our canning jars. I have never researched this because it's glass, and I just figured it was safe. But it turns out that because glass is made from sand, which is from the earth, it has lead in it. I'm not going to freak out because I haven't seen any studies saying it actually gets into your food. In fact, I saw several comments from people who actually make glass on several of the websites I looked into that are saying that the lead and the cadmium are actually like bound into the glass, and it would be impossible for it to escape into your food. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there for in case anyone knows any other information. The colored jars like this one have way higher levels of lead, and that's because of the color. Okay, but I don't use these for canning. This is just my dry storage. They're great for that. Ball canning jars, the new ones, tested free for lead. That being said, I despise new canning jars from the store, particularly Ball. I've had horrible luck with them. You load them up, you put them inside your canner, and they just disintegrate. So anyway, if anyone has any other information, my email's down below. Send me an email. Let's keep the conversation going, or comment down below. Okay, so the next ingredient is 1/2 cup of salsa. I'm doing way more than that. Shh, it'll be fine. And we're going to blend this. I'm going to use my immersion blender. You could also use a mashed potato masher. that's done. Super fast, super easy. Now, it is important to note that because these beans are hot, this is going to be a little bit runnier than what it will be when it cools. Also, if you have a very, very, very runny salsa, you may want to decrease the amount you use. This is a super, super chunky one. See how chunky that is? It's super thick. I'm going to go rinse this off, and we're going to keep going. One more thing on the canning is I did find out that the canning company Pure, which is P-U-R, or Pur, I don't know. I just always pronounce it Pure, has tested negative for heavy metals for both their lids and their jars. I've successfully used their products for water bath canning. Not so good with pressure canning, which works for me because I have leaned away from pressure canning. Okay, so I'm going to move this over to the side. We are going to start loading these. I'm going to preheat this cast iron skillet over medium heat because we always do medium heat over cast iron, just in case you're new to cast iron or new here. If you go any higher than medium temperature, you will cook off your nonstick coating, usually fat, on your skillet. So cast iron gets extremely, extremely hot. So just go medium. And I'm going to add some healthy fat to this. I'm going to personally fry these in lard, but you could totally fry them in coconut oil or goose fat, duck fat, butter would be amazing. Coconut oil works. What we're looking for is the fat that you select to be a semi-solid at room temperature. If your fat that you're going to be frying these in is a liquid already, like for example, extra virgin olive oil, that is not safe at high temperatures. So olive oil is great for things like salad, but for heating things up, we need a semi-solid. So this is going to melt because obviously the pan is heating up. But at room temperature, we want a semi-solid, and no, Crisco does not count. If you look at the ingredients of Crisco, it's not so good. So you could spend all night Googling those ingredients. Okay, so we're going to put some of that filling into one of these, and we're going to get it frying. Let's see, right here. If you like onions, you could add onions to this. I'm going to let the kids add their, I don't know which ones of these are going to go to what kids, so I'm going to let them add it later. But that's all there is to these ones. This is super, super easy. Super easy. If you're keto, my cookbook does have a recipe for keto wraps. They're grain-free. They are not GAPS approved, though. Also, if your body doesn't handle pinto beans very well, you could totally make this recipe with white beans. It tastes just as good. I've made refried beans with white beans several times. Totally delicious. This is such a fast, I'm just kind of putting these to the side until the oil gets hot. Okay, we want hot oil. If I were to put these in here right now, the tortillas are going to get super, super, like, wet feeling. They're going to fall apart and get soggy. So we're going to keep letting that preheat while we keep loading up tortillas. It'll be interesting to see what comes of my researching into the canning jars. I don't suspect anything, and I also don't fear lead so much. I mean, our ancestors lived longer than us, and they were using the blue canning jars all the time. So anyway, there has to be something more to the story. And I'm going to keep looking. I'm also going to be calling Azure Standard because their canning jars are made in China. Just wondering how much control they have over those, the ingredients that are in their canning jars. And see what the deal is with those, if they've ever been tested, what the levels are. All of the cans, I say cans loosely, it's the glass ones. The jars that are made in America are all tested to government safety standards, but that's all I'm going to say on that one. Hopefully you all feel safe with that. This is so easy. You can also add meat to it if you want. This is a super filling meal. The kids will probably, because we're only going to eat this, they'll probably eat 3 apiece. So, little tip on how to tell when your oil is ready to fry something. A wood spoon And it has to have a flat bottom here. And we're going to just press it into the oil. And if we see little bubbles come up, then it's ready. This is not ready yet. Got about a 1/4 inch of oil on the bottom. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want to put this over high heat, have the cast iron get so hot that this oil starts to cook off and smoke. That's not a good sign. Not that the oil will go bad, that the lard will go bad or anything, but it's just your poor pan gets overfired, which this one's done a couple of times, and the bottom is no longer smooth. It has buildup from it being overfired. And I'm not the one that did it. I have teenagers who are learning how to cook, so. It used to be the smoothest pan in the house, but not so much anymore. There we go. So how is everybody else doing? Are people doing okay? How's the weather? Checking in. I know we got people down in Georgia. We got people in Idaho. Hey, Sharon. It's okay that you're late. I think you probably just missed me talking. The cooking didn't start till 9 minutes, and you clocked in at, oh, it took me away from me. Hang on. You clocked in at 5:38. Maybe you did miss a little bit, huh? There was a ton of talking in the beginning, though. I was trying to allot enough time for people to come if they wanted to. Over to this one. So this still isn't ready yet, but we're almost there. I'm starting to be able to see like little bubbles that are coming up from the bottom of the cast iron. That's a good sign. Shouldn't be more than another minute or so. And we should be able to start seeing the bubbles coming off the bottom of the spoon. There they are. I don't know if you guys probably can't see that. Let me get you closer. This is what it looks like. Can you guys see the little white bubbles? Okay, so this is ready to go. Any sooner than that, these would get soggy. We don't want that. So this is nice and hot. We're ready to go. Just going to fold them in half, and we're going to get to frying them. And of course, the nice little fry noise is a good sign as well. I was going to do 2 pans, but I think that might be a little bit nuts. I don't know, maybe not. All right, I'm up for nuts. We're going to give it a shot. So this other one, you guys will notice in the background here, is a huge pan, way bigger than my burner. So I'm going to go a little over medium with this, only because there's no way it's going to be medium heat when it has so much to cover. I'm going to go ahead and put some lard in that back pan. There it goes. If you guys buy, some pig and you want to learn how to render your own lard, I do have a video up on that. It's super easy. It's not as complicated as you think it is. All right, so while this is cooking, we're going to keep on filling a few more tortillas. If you guys have any questions or want to talk about a specific subject, don't be shy. Comment down below and we'll talk about it. Hi, baby girl. She says hello. All right, I'm going to flip these on over. We're looking for golden brown and crunchy. That one's almost there. I'm going to leave the other one for a few extra seconds here.
Mom, you should tell him that means what?
About what? No. We have our eggs. They've been, the chickens have been laying, which is awesome. I had bought some new chicks this spring, and they're finally laying, which is so great. And laying into winter, which is also so great. I'm going to go ahead and put this on over. And we will have a video on the chicken coop. It is on my list. I know I promised last week, but then like literally 2 days later, I had total chaos with more people getting sick. Not a good scenario. But at least it's only lasts like 2 days. That's the other weird thing about the illness. It only lasts like 2 days. So you go through all of that and you sleep a whole bunch and then you're just done. So weird. I'm gonna grab a plate here. One thing to keep in mind when you're switching over to the more natural side of things is that a lot of the things that you use, like toothpastes and other things, do have lead in them because it's made with, like toothpaste, for instance, will be made with bentonite clay, which comes from the earth. So it's not like we were meant to like totally avoid it altogether. It's just that in high amounts, it's probably not so good. All right, there's the first one. Give you guys a close-up of that yummy melted cheese. This is gonna be delicious. I'm thinking these two will go right away to William. And then we're gonna put a nice little side on the side of his plate here. We're gonna put a big old scoop of sauerkraut. I remember years ago when I was looking into this lifestyle and eating, I was like, what am I going to use for sides? Well, you know what? Sauerkraut is super, super cheap, and it can totally be presented right on the plate for your kid to eat, okay? Where can I find lard? Oh, hang on. I hate YouTube. It just takes the comments away. Nikki says, where can I find lard? I've never seen it at my local grocery store, and I'd love to start cooking with it. So, lard you're going to have to buy online. And you want, preferably, to get lard from pigs that have been outside. Pastured pigs, okay? They're still fed grain, and they're usually pasture rotated. But the reason why I'm saying that is lard is great, but from a normal pig, because it's fat, so it's healthy for you. But any toxins that pig has been exposed to, or even cows, think any animal, even us, we store a lot of our toxins in our fat. So this is pure fat from a pig, which means whatever toxins this pig was exposed to is in my lard. And so try to buy the cleanest that you can afford. If you get online and just type in pastured pork lard, I bet you there's people who sell it. I would check Azure Standard too. I love lard. I cook with it a lot. You probably know that, Nikki. You've been watching for a while. I love it with cast iron. If you have cast iron, you have to try cooking with lard. It's a total game changer. Another option is if you know a farmer that is selling pork, would be to make your own. It's really not hard. You just need a crock pot or a slow cooker of some sort to render it. It's just like melting it. The butcher will shred it for you, and then it just gets melted. Okay, this one's out of there. It's kind of making a mess. So there's little William's dinner, and I'll just put a little scoop of sauerkraut up here, probably about 1/3 of a cup, and that's his whole meal ready to go. But I would check your sources if you can afford to. I know some people you can't afford to, and it's still better for you to cook with non-organic lard than, say, Crisco, because you're weighing out the toxins, right? You have a list of toxins on the Crisco that you can go over. It's just not a nice scene there. Okay, this is just starting to bubble back here. Once again, just in case you just got here, I'm just testing the oil to see if it's right and ready to fry by sticking a wood spoon in the bottom, and it's going to produce white bubbles. That's how we test, and it's ready for tortillas. Good question, Nikki. I know Azure Standard sells things like goose fat and duck fat, but I also know Azure Standard does not sell any pork. It has to do with their religion, so I highly doubt that they sell lard. But one thing you could do, I don't know where you're located, Nikki, but if you get on westinaprice.org, scroll all the way down, and they have like a little link that says find local food. There's Weston A. Price chapters all over the United States, and you can actually email them, and they're supposed to be providing you with a resource list, and on that resource list would be farmers that grow healthy food, and maybe one of them raises pork. Who knows? And then you can try and find, and sometimes, like even even though I rendered this myself, the guy who raises the pigs sells lard by the quarts, because not everyone is this minded, you know? Some people are totally still afraid of fat. And so they don't want their fat. And so the farmer just takes it home, renders it, and then sells it by the quart. So get on, like I said, westinaprice.org. So Weston, WESTON, A, and then price.org. Scroll all the way down, find local food. And they have a list of chapters there. I know they have some in New York, so you just have to check it out if you haven't already, Nikki. I'm going to grab another plate here. Reese, you grab the sauerkraut? So I order cabbages from Azure Standard. Oh, this is so crispy. Oh my gosh. I might have to eat it while I'm making the rest of these. So delicious.
How much you like it?
Okay. I'm just going to dish it up real quick. I'm going to show them. So I ordered a whole bunch of cabbages a couple months back, about 40 pounds, and we literally made almost all of it into sauerkraut. So there's no excuse not to have our ferments, which is awesome. So I'm just going to take William's plate. William, your plate's going to be done here in just a second, and we're just going to put sauerkraut on there. Now, my kids know they got to eat the sauerkraut before they can have the rest of it. But this is a completed meal. And like I said, sauerkraut is such a cheap side, you guys. It's so much cheaper than frozen vegetables, fresh vegetables, anything. Here you go, buddy. Let's take that and let's at the table. I'll get you a fork. I'll get you a fork. There you go. In just a minute, I can have Bree help you with that. So consider sauerkraut. This is a budget saver and a gut booster. All right, I don't want to burn these back here. I said I was ready for crazy, but I don't know if I am. Woo! Oh, they're perfect. It's all good. I didn't burn anything. We're doing well. And I didn't do this on Williams, but I would salt. I would put salt on these wraps while the oil is still wet. Let's see if I can get some salt. Because there's no salt in the wrap recipe. The wrap recipe is in my cookbook, by the way. I'm just going to just barely sprinkle the salt on there. There we go. That's the next kid's meal ready to go. There's another meal up. Okay, we're going to have a couple more meals. It's going to go rather quickly. But lard is definitely something, once you start cooking with it, you'll never go back. It's awesome. The other alternative is tallow, which is from... I need to turn on a fan here, hang on. Which is from cows. It's a different taste. I don't like it. That doesn't mean you won't. I'm just more of a lard girl. Give me a big old container of lard, I'll be happy. But some people prefer tallow. So that's another option too. If you can't find any pigs locally, try to find someone who has grass-fed beef, which is a lot more popular, that you can get tallow from. Another one. I'm gonna have one more over there. See, now I got too crazy. I got all this stuff going. I gotta hurry up and do some more wraps. And like I said, goose fat, it's more expensive though. Goose fat, duck fat is more expensive, but those are still really healthy fats. I could also be doing this in coconut oil. It just matters what your budget allows for you to use as a healthy fat to cook in. Butter would be pretty expensive to cook in, so I probably wouldn't go that way. But you do notice that when we list off the healthy fats to cook in, well, first of all, they're all fats, right? Hence the word fats in the title. So that means that we must try and buy as clean as we can. Whatever your budget will allow. Same thing with cheeses. Cheeses are fats. They're made from the fat off of milk. So if you can afford to buy organic, and I would encourage you to look into Azure Standard if you never have. My link is down below. Check that out. They deliver nationwide. Yeah, they smell heavenly and they feel heavenly. They're very, very crispy, these little wraps.
You didn't burn them, right?
I didn't burn them. No, honey, I didn't burn them. I'm looking for a raise, though, because now I didn't burn your food, so...
Did you take the sauerkraut from the top of the star?
Yeah, why don't I throw with it? It's all dried out a little bit. You can dig down and get the wet stuff. Okay.
Hey.
And there's more sauerkraut inside the fridge if you don't like this one. Salsa. Here, you can take this to the table with 2 hands, please. Thank you. So, just in case you're new here, I do grow as much of our own food as I can. That's another way to keep down the budget for our food, because we are a family of 8, and food is expensive out there. But at least I'm not paying for processed food for 8 people, so that would just kill. Holy cow. You have to remember that the processed food inside the store, you're literally having to pay for them to put it together for you. So it's not like, you know, it's going to be cheaper. It's less labor intensive for you. And anything in life that's less labor intensive for you is going to be more expensive. You know, like hiring a plumber, hiring an electrician. Those are all things where you're hiring, you know, someone to do it for you. All right, we're going to put that on over. Kind of flowing into my skillet.
Yeah, very dusty.
Very dusty. A little bit smoky. Mommy should have had on the range vent earlier.
Yeah, so now I have a fan on. Yeah.
That's all right. It's on now. Okay, we are just cooking away here. The goose fat and the duck fat too. Everything that you're going to look into as far as fats, just make sure it's as clean as you can afford, like I said, because it's going to have more nutrients in it for your buck. So you could buy one where the pig or the cow's never outside, but it's not going to have the vitamin K2, not going to have as much vitamin A or D in it, and that's because that animal never made it outside to make it into nutrient-dense stuff for you to cook in.
They taste heavenly.
They taste heavenly, is a report from the table behind me. I'm glad. I'm like literally drooling while I'm making these for you guys, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying them. There we go. Look at the golden brown on those. Isn't that beautiful? So easy to make too. Even if you are a working parent, you could totally do this. I'm gonna warm that up for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I can do that. I've got baby food to warm up here. Naomi is going to be having our own home-raised, home-butchered, home-everything pastured chicken with a side of, what's in that, carrots and beans or something? So, that'll be yummy. Just in case you have a baby and you're curious how I make her food, I steam / cook it all. Uh-oh, it's probably dirty. And then, hang on. This has another part to it. This is a Pampered Chef. This is actually Kidco. So there's several different versions, but the original one I had was a Pampered Chef one. And it has a little blade. You load the food into here, and there's like a little bottom. And you load the food in, and then you put the blade on top, and you spin it. And all the ground up stuff comes to the top, and then I just warm it up on the stove. But that's how I make the baby food. And of course we add the 1 scoop of liver powder for her, so she can get liver into her diet on a regular basis. I'm going to put 3 on this plate because I have teenagers. So that's all I got to say about that one. And a husband who has to eat. I'm going to go ahead and warm this up. So this is baby girl's food. Okay. All right, so we are still going. Oh, I turned this off. Silly me. It's because all this stuff got out of control over here, and I thought I was going to burn something, so now I turned one of my pans off. We'll keep going here. I don't even know how many of these I've even made. I'm just going. Do you like it? Is it good? Did you try it?
Yeah, but it's actually. Oh no.
Okay, well then eat the other sauerkraut if you don't like the way that one tastes. Okay? Your sister will be getting it out for you.
So I didn't get any
Your sister will get the other side.
pasta.
Well, they can help you with that too. They're all over there. They can help you with this. William,
I don't want pasta.
okay, go on over there and go eat your food.
Sorry, I know that this.
You could also top it instead of salsa, do sour cream. That would work as well. I've got kind of cheese chunks at this point because somebody had sliced some cheese and then left it inside the fridge in a bag and never used it. And so now I've got that instead of shreds here. I also try to fry these with the cheese side down first. Kind of helps to hold stuff in and melts the cheese nice and yummy. There we go. So who hasn't eaten yet? How many more of these do I need to make?
Marie hasn't eaten.
Okay.
Dad hasn't eaten.
That's Dad. You got one?
I got 2 on my plate.
2 on your plate? Okay.
Bethany, 2. William has 2.
Might have to grind up a little bit more cheese, y'all. If you're just jumping on, we talked about a lot in the beginning of this video. I'm going to timestamp the recipe after I get off live here so that you guys can go back and get all the ingredients. But this is a quick meal. Perfect for a crazy day or if you're working. All right, I'm going to go grab some more cheese because we're going to run out. Okay. So this is a cheese I buy from Azure Standard, just in case you are new. This is Romano. It's organic. It's not raw because we're cooking this. But this came out last time I bought it last month to $6.91 a pound. This is a 5-pound block. Okay. Where's my shredder, girl? Found it. I'm warming yours up, baby girl. Just a minute. Woo. I am so happy that more people have found the channel. If you have friends that need to learn how to cook, make sure you refer them on over here. I just want to spread the word of nutrient-dense foods and swapping foods out, processed food versus from scratch. You know, let's get them some more ideas for meals. It's going. It'll just be a few minutes. Because, like I said, I was raised with 100% processed food. Occasionally, my mom would make like meatballs or something and put barbecue sauce on the top, which was really, really good. And occasionally, we'd make homemade pizza. But for the most part, our lives were busy. Both of my parents worked in their own way. We went to public school, and so we had a lot of hamburger helper and macaroni and cheese and frozen pizzas. That sort of thing. So I did not grow up this way. This is not natural. These are all skills I had to learn. And I think that's one reason why I'm so passionate about teaching someone else. Oh, I kind of burned that one a little bit. How to cook. That's okay. These can be mine. I burned them a little bit. I just want people to learn. And as you're learning, don't be afraid to have your kids in the kitchen with you. Because guess what? One day they're going to want to learn and have to learn how to cook their own food. And if you're learning this for a specific reason, chances are that reason is going to be their same reason when they're an adult and they're going to wish you would have taught them. So let them learn right alongside you. It's something you could do together with your kids. Another opportunity to connect. See, this stuff like really, 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 really got thick. And that's what I was telling you guys in the beginning is that it's going to look kind of runny. Don't freak out. As it cools, it gets thick. It's delicious. Did all the chickens load up? Okay. Do you need help catching them?
Yeah.
Okay. Graceland, can you go out and help? And Bethany? So our chickens, like 50% of them or more. How many loaded up tonight? Are we looking good? The numbers good?
I think quite a bit of them stayed out.
Okay. So anyways, I guess quite a few of them are still staying out of the... Half of them are out in the dark. And so now the kids have got to go run around and go find them in the dark and get them tucked in for the night. We're having a heck of a time getting them trained to get into their new coop at night, but it'll be fine. They'll get it eventually. We have to remember that we're working with really, really small bird brains, okay? So it's going to be a little while, which is fine. At least they're still laying eggs. I mean, it could be worse. Okay, baby food is definitely done. I'm going to add these to the skillet in the back over there. So I have a spot to do the baby food real quick for a baby girl. Okay, it's going. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and dump this into a bowl. This is her baby food for the night. And as I've stated before, this is what I add to the baby food. This is desiccated liver powder. The link to buy this is down below. And I just add a scoop. If you do not start your children early, it's much harder to get them to eat this later in life. So if you can start them when they're a baby, you'll be that much more ahead. So I just add it and it just gets stirred in. And she's been eating this since she was like 6 months old. She was eating egg yolk and liver. Okay, here's for dinner. Flip these on over. And we're just about done here. I love when they're golden brown. They're so pretty. I'm going to have to add just a little bit of lard to that back pan because it is starting to get dried up. You can still cook them when your pans are dry, but they don't get as crispy. All right, there we go. She's so hungry. Do you need a sip? Okay. Well, this is the only one I have, and it must be big all the way down into Well, there hasn't been any uprising from behind me, so it must be a really good meal.
Yes, it is.
If you're just jumping on, the meal portion of this starts at 9 minutes, and it will be available for replay. We are just cooking along, and this is a fast meal. We've probably been cooking for about 45 minutes, but I'm cooking for a family of 8. So if I had, let's see, how could this be quicker? If I had like a big skillet, one of those, what are they called? I don't even know. You guys know what I'm talking about, the big, like to do pancakes on. You could probably do this on that too. And it would go a little faster. All right. This one is done. Take a look. Yum. I thought about serving refried beans in this meal, and I'm like, what am I doing? It already has beans in it. So we're just going to have sauerkraut, as I said before. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this one off. This is the last plate right here. So I am looking forward. I've got tons of ideas of videos to get out for you guys as spring rolls on in. We're going to be doing more videos on growing your own food. I know lots of people want to learn about that. Gardening, obviously the cooking classes will continue. And if you guys have any topic suggestions, things that you might want to learn from me, put them down in the comments below. I would more than be happy to make you those videos so you can learn what you need to learn. All in one stop. And like I said, if you have not ordered the cookbook, it is down below. There's also meal plans down there. If you guys are curious about the numbers I ran for the article, though that actual meal plan is available for purchase. It's an instant download, $7. It comes with an entire month's worth of grocery list, all the recipes you need, and everything to make from scratch meals that are just like the processed meals. You know, in taste, they taste really good. And things your family already enjoys, but they're from scratch. So check that out. When I ran the numbers, I think a whole month of meals on that meal plan for a family of 4. Now keep in mind, this has been over a year ago, but I believe it was under $400. So about $100 a week. So if that's something you're interested in, that's an instant download down in the description box down below. This one is done. We are done cooking dinner, you guys. That is all there is to it. All right. You love it? Yeah? Everyone's asking for more. Maybe I won't stop cooking. Maybe I'll keep going all night. I think I have extra tortillas. All right. Sharon says cordito would be really good with that, and it's, oh, really? Hang on. I've never cooked that before. Oh, it's in the back. I'm so bad. Like, I hardly ever open up my Nourishing Traditions cookbook. I'm guessing it's some sort of a salsa or something. I'll have to look into that. I've never made that. And like I said, I'm really bad about opening the Nourishing Traditions book because I get overwhelmed because it's like 500 pages. So I think I've made maybe 2 recipes out of that cookbook. It just felt too overwhelming for me. And it wasn't recipes that my family would recognize, like rice-a-roni or beef stroganoff, or things that yeah, or processed foods. And so, yeah. So anyway, I haven't done a lot of cooking on that, but I will check into that. I've never made that before, so that could be fun. So thank you for the suggestion, Sharon. Is that Sharon? It was Sharon. Sharon, yeah. Oh, it's Latin American sauerkraut. Ooh. See, I would have to wait 3 days. But I'm going to look into that because the way my meal planning works is I make this meal one day this week, and then next week I make it again. So one day a week we'll be making this, so I actually would have some time to make it again. So that'd be cool. Also wanted to mention, I am currently working on making the meal plan that I'm feeding my family for this month and next month available for instant download. So that'll be coming soon. I'm hoping to have it done by next week because my Azure haul is going to hit next week. And so all these recipes will be there for you guys to instant download, which will be cool, with shopping lists and everything included. So anyway, other than that, thanks for joining me, you guys. I'm gonna go eat this delicious food before it gets cold. So good. And I'll see you guys next week. You guys take care.